Yeah, man. Yo, listen, I don't.
Yo, what's
I'm at this
popping,
point.
bro?
I don't know which version I like better. I don't know which version I like better. I don't know if I like the
Yo, I ain't
Dallas
told you, man.
better. I'm like, dang, I gotta have
Yeah.
them both. I gotta put both on the playlist, man.
Yeah, no, actually, both of them, like both of the remixes, just give you different vibes, man. Like if you want that street shit mixed with that, you know what I'm saying, that R&B shit. Like you listen to the Dolphin Money Man, motherfucker. If you want that 100%, just bossing up bigging up the woman and just showing her love, when you listen to the original, you listen to Ty Dolla $ign. So I think both remixes give you something different.
Right. Man, it's a pleasure, man. You doing your thing out here, man. Thank you for joining the show tonight. I know you was in that gym earlier. You was doing your thing.
Yeah. I'm doing 2 a days now, man. I'm trying to get to a certain level fast, so I'm doing 2 a days.
Got you. So I read that you were originally from Michigan.
Yeah.
And
Ben Harbor.
You relocated to Atlanta in your early teens, right? How was that transition for you going from Michigan to a place like the ATL?
It was difficult at first, man. Mainly because I was young, so I was 13, 14 years old. Really all I really cared about was my homies and my friends. I didn't really care about the environment, so that's what made it difficult for me. And that was just to leave all my friends that I had made, everything that I had going on as a youngin' there, I had to just let that go. But as I got older, I started to realize, like, if I hadn't left, I probably would be in the same situation a lot of my homies are in now, which is either locked up or, dead. But I think, I truly think that was one of the best moves I made, was to move from Indiana, from Ben Harbor, Michigan, and Indiana, because I lived in both. To move from that side of the world, man, just like, because it really wasn't nothing but a bunch of gangs and stuff, gang violence, and just a lot of ways to get in trouble. And me being the youngest of the crew, I was running with, as you can imagine, like I was like running up behind all of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, following my big homies. You feel me? So moving definitely put me on the path to do the right thing, for real.
Respect. Sometimes you gotta changing your environment. Sometimes you don't understand it at that time.
For sure.
Later on in life, you're like, yo, I thank God for this. You know what I mean?
Nah,
who were some of your biggest influences growing up?
I got a bunch of them, man. Music-wise, I would say the Temptations to start off. They're my favorite group of all time. Of course, Usher, Chris, Stevie Wonder, Otis Redding. Also I had some big inspirations like my mom. My dad, my older brother. Even my like my little brother. He was an inspiration to me because it was almost because he looked at me like, so it was almost like I had to do the right thing, so that he wouldn't do the wrong thing. You feel what I'm saying? So he was an inspiration for me to kind of get on the right track as well. So yeah.
Respect. Most of the time you don't hear folks credit their family too much. So
nah, you got to, man. Yeah, I think that's where the foundation starts, with the family, man. And if you don't acknowledge that, everything else you say after that really doesn't matter to me.
Right. I remember seeing you on The Voice. What pushed you to sign up for that competition?
My manager. I had no desire to be on a singing competition show. I don't know if it was because I just felt like it would be a waste of time or what, but I mean, in a little bit of it was, I didn't want to, if I were to lose, I didn't want to lose on that big platform. You know what I'm saying? So I think it was kind of me in my head, but my manager kind of was like, yo, what can you lose? What do you have to lose? Like, there's only a couple things that can happen. You're going to get seen by the world, and 9 times out of 10, you're going to have new fans. Because he's like, it's not like you sound bad. It's not like you can't sing. You know what I'm saying? So he talked me into it.
It's only for you to gain. It's only gonna.
That's it. That was it, man.
At that point in your career, it was only a game for you, regardless of which way it went.
Exactly.
It was a game.
Right. And that's the thing, though. Like, once I really got that concept down, I was like, okay, you know what, you're right. The only thing, it's only gains you can get from this.
You know, during The Voice, you were mentored by Usher. You said that he was one of your influences as well growing up. You know, how was it like working with him, someone who really influenced you, and what's something that he told you, you know, that stuck with you past the competition?
Right, working with us, man, it's kind of like, yeah, I mean, and I feel like any R&B artist at that age, and even this age now, it's like, you know, would be just in heaven to work with Usher. So as you know, as you can imagine, like me working with Usher was like, yo, I'm working with Usher. So it was definitely an exciting moment for me. One of the cool things about Usher is like he treated me as if I was already famous. He didn't treat me as I was just a fanatic or a fan. He treated me as if, you know, hey, look, you on the right path, this and the third. I respect you as a human. You know what I'm saying? I respect you at what you're doing. And I thought that was cool because a lot of people, a lot of artists that you meet, man, you know, everybody get this notion in their head like they stuck up or they this type of way or they're probably an asshole or something like that. But he was the total opposite. Very insightful, everything. Literally, there's nothing, any questions that I asked him about music or how to do something or how to do this and how you stay so relevant for this many years, he gave me his honest answers. You know what I mean? And I felt like that was very insightful for me because that it could be a blueprint for the next artist to follow. Like, hey, his main thing was stay out the way. You know what I'm saying? Don't try not to get caught up in too much stuff. You know, only time your name should be in the headlines is when you release a single or when you go gold or when you know what I'm saying, when you finna do a tour. You know what I'm saying? So that was something that stuck with me. But the main thing that stuck with me was he told me to start trusting myself. And I say start trusting myself, he meant by when I get on stage, you know, when you get on stage and sing, it's kind of like you in your head all the time. I was in my head the whole time I'm on stage singing. So that kind of like put kind of threw a wrench in my whole operation when I'm on stage singing, trying to remember the lyrics, and I'm thinking about the next note I'm gonna hit. Like, I hope I don't mess up. I hope I don't mess up. And then, you know, I might have a big note that's coming. Like, yo, this big note coming, you got to hit it. You don't be flat, don't be sharp. You know what I'm saying? So
It's the pressure.
when yeah, he was like, you putting yourself under too much pressure. He was like, so what you got to do is you got to be confident enough in yourself to say, hey, I'm going to get up here and I'm going to just do it. Because this is what I've been practicing for. Just get up there and do it. And once he did that, once he told me that, man, I apply that to everything from my music to when I perform, whatever. It's like, you know, whatever comes out of
Yeah, salute to Usher, man. I've had an opportunity to work with him a few times on some shows that I've done, and he's a genius and he's real down to earth as
yeah,
well. So he seemed like he definitely taught you a lot just being under his wing for the period of time
right.
that you were. I want everyone to be able to, like people were saying, you're breaking up. I want everyone to be able to hear the conversation. Are you on the Wi-Fi?
I'm on Wi-Fi.
Because you know that's how it is, especially like when you're like in Atlanta. Certain
Yeah,
places, it's like it's either your service is
yeah,
better or your
yeah.
Wi-Fi is better.
Is
So
exactly. So you got to pick and
sometimes
choose which one
you
you
got to pick
use.
and
So
choose.
yeah,
Sometimes it's the opposite. Sometimes you run the
yep.
Wi-Fi and it's not doing
Sometimes
you
the
good.
Wi-Fi is low as hell, man. So yeah, we good money.
Exactly.
Yeah,
We
we good
clear.
money.
We clear. You know, being eliminated, right? How did you turn that? How did you turn that elimination into something positive and prosperous?
I just took it as you know, I took it as a sign from God. Like, all right, cool. I took you as far as I wanted you to go on this show. Now use what you've you know what I mean acquired on this show, and you multiply it. Yeah, you know, of course I was salty when I got off the show. You know what I'm saying? Of course I was salty, but I came home and I kept on going. I started recording, releasing covers and mixtapes, and that was me multiplying. That was me, you know, taking advantage of what I had gained on the show. Because mind you, when I got off the show, I had an extra 30, 40,000 people that wanted to still see what I had to offer after
Listen,
this.
I was never really a big fan of The Voice too much.
Uh-huh.
And I would watch a few episodes here and there. The episode that I caught, I saw you on there.
Right.
And I never followed up afterwards. But next next thing I know, I see you got the V-mixes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the YouTube. So literally one time seeing you on The Voice, I was tuned into
you was able to go to exactly.
And was able to follow your career from there.
And that's what it did for me, man. Because at the time I didn't really have a lot of people checking for me. So after The Voice, even like people they were checking for me, whether it be for new music, new covers or what. But now I had an audience to get material to, and I found that a lot of people on the show even people that I was on the season with, they did not capitalize off of that.
You know, sometimes you gotta lose to win.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta lose to win, and that's how I looked at it. And that's how I looked at it, because at the end of the day, man, just being honest, man, you don't want to win those type of shows. You don't want to win those type of TV shows, man. Those singing shows, because you know these people look at it like, okay, you wouldn't even be known if it wasn't for us. So we basically own you.
You get put in that box most of the time. You've seen a few people break out of that.
Yeah.
You've seen a few people who didn't win.
It's real.
Competitions like American Idol and stuff like that, and be able to
go.
And it's very few.
And that's how.
And the folks who win, most of the time, we really don't.
Nah,
they're in that box.
No fact. That's how I feel, man. I feel like The Voice was a stepping stone for me to be where I am now. Even though I didn't win, like here I am, an independent artist, certified gold single on its way to platinum.
Right.
You know what I mean?
No disrespect to The Voice, but sometimes.
Nah. Sometimes
you just have to go through certain things to get to where you at. I remember seeing, I watched your elimination interview.
Right.
And I remember you was like, listen, I'm just gonna go back home and I'm just gonna get to work.
Yeah, that's
what I mean.
What else can you do, man?
and the lady who was interviewing you, she was like, I would be in the corner crying, boo-hooing my eyes out, and he was like, nah, I'm just going. I came, I did my thing, whatever. I got the experience, and
right.
And I'm just gonna get back to work,
and that's that's the mindset.
What is that? 7 years ago. 7 years ago. Look, you got a lot of work. You put a lot of work in, but look, you got a certified gold single. You out here doing your thing, and keeping R&B. You know what I mean? Bringing, because I would say keeping R&B alive, but you got folks that came before you, like the Tyrese's and the Tanks. And
let's still help
for the young generation. Strictly R&B, and that's what we've been missing. You know what I mean? For everybody who came up in the early '90s and everything like that, you represent for sure.
Nah, for sure, man. I think that's one of the things that I like to do with my music, man. Because I'm a big '90s R&B fan, early 2000s R&B fan. I wanted to kind of like when you hear my music, I wanted to put you in the this sounds like some 2002 R&B or some 98 or 99 R&B. But then when it come on, you hear the lyrics and you hear the cadence and flows, it still puts you back in the mindset of, we still in 2021, but it give me those old vibes, and that's
those old vibes, but with a current flow.
With a current flow, and I think that's the essence that I try to capture with my music, man.
Two remixes, like I was saying earlier, to You Got It. The Ty Dolla $ign remix, and you got the remix with Dolph and Money Man.
Right.
How did these collaborations come about?
Actually, the Ty Dolla $ign one was a surprise, for real. My manager hit me and was like, "Hey, yo, check your email." I'm like, check your email. I check my email. It's a verse on You Got It from Ty Dolla $ign. I'm like, yo, what? How? First of all, my first question was, how much did this cost?
Like, how much? What's the budget like?
Yeah, what's the budget like? Yo, so but from what I know, it was all love. Heard the song, people, he loved it, and just jumped on it. I mean, and I think that's how you got an organic record, something that people can really say, oh, yo, I like this record, I want to be a part of it. And it was the same with Dolph and Money Man as well. I was a little iffy about the Dolph and Money Man feature though, because You Got It is it's a song that's it's an R&B song, uplifting women, this, that, and the third. I was
catered to the women. It's real positive. Yeah. It's real on a
I was a little
clean note. On a clean note, if you want to say.
Yeah, I was curious on how it would sound, man. But then Dolph and Money Man sent their verses back. I was like, yeah, this right here, this ride. The way Dolph came in and then Money Man slid on his. I was like, I'm happy with it. I had nothing bad to say about it at
Listen,
all.
and just as a fan of music and as a fan of R&B, and when I played it, I was like, Dolphin Money Man, like, cause I know the original record, so
Yeah.
I'm just like, how they gonna come on this? So
Right.
is it gonna get too raunchy? How is it gonna get?
Right.
And, I
had
went into it the same way you thinking, and I played it, and I was like, nah, this
I
is
was
smooth.
like, I was almost like listening to it cringing, like cringing, like, oh, I'm like, but no, it came out good, man. I think they delivered on it. I think they, you know, because they could have said some wild shit, but they kept it, you know, they kept it in the parameters of what the song was about, which
they delivered, and they still stayed themselves at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he was able to. That was a blessing right there. That was dope.
That was dope. And it's going crazy too, man. The fans, it's crazy feedback on him. I love it.
Like you were saying, you've been independent doing your thing. I know you've had like what, 5 albums, 4 albums?
Yes, 4 albums. Yep.
How many mixtapes?
I think let me say 1, 2, 3. I would say like 4 mixtapes as well. I gotta go back. 4 mixtapes. I did 1 EP, bunch of just like it's like singles, just throwing out there, see what they're gonna do, and over 100 covers and remixes.
Like you have this a large body of music.
Yeah.
And so you know you're a living testimony of don't give up.
Nah,
you know what I mean? And you know, to just be honest with you, I've heard the remixes, and For You was the project right before you that I heard a full project from you, right?
Right.
And just with you keep grinding and keep doing your thing and keep making it and putting your name out there, I had to go back and listen to some of that music. Oh shoot, he got this, he got that, he got this.
Yeah, that's the ripple. I mean? That's the ripple. Yeah.
Most folks, you know, putting out music, man, you know, you get as an artist, you know, sometimes, you know, it gets discouraging and it not being received the way, you know, the way that you want it. And you kept working, man. You kept doing it. And
yeah, imagine.
Here you are.
Yeah, imagine doing a whole album with 14 songs on it, right? Taking your time doing it, putting it together, and nobody listens to it. That shit can be very discouraging. And I had a couple albums like that. You know what I'm saying? Even to me, like, even my first album, 93, I thought was a great album, but nobody really checks for it like that until Full Walls took off. And then Full Walls did his thing, and then everybody started checking. Then it kind of died down again. Had to pick it back up. So like, you know, I wouldn't even say being an independent artist. Being an artist in general is an emotional roller coaster.
Absolutely.
Because one minute you can be hot, the next minute ain't nobody talking about you. And then you get another hit, bam, and then you're hot again. Then nobody's talking about you. So it's all about you being able to say, hey, all right, that record didn't work. Let me try another one. Okay, that record didn't work. Let me try another one. And that's what kind of happened. You just gotta keep releasing music, and eventually one day something will catch.
You know, I wanted to ask you, right, being independent, would you ever, since you put out so much music and you've been doing your thing and you've had so many accomplishments on the independent tip, would you ever consider signing to a major?
Right now, no. I think if I ever did decide to go with a major, I think that it definitely wouldn't be your standard record deal at all, not even close. You know, it would literally be a partnership. I personally would never sign directly to a major label. It would always have to be like my label, you know, because I'm signed to my label. It'd be my label partners with whoever. You know, my label furnishes VEDO to the label. You know what I mean? It would have to be something like that because I'm all about the chain reaction effect. So if my label has a major partnership, it makes my label look even better. You know what I'm saying? And now it's like your label is connected to this major label, and now you got a major machine pushing you and your label. And I think that's probably as far as I'll go. I probably would never sign directly to a major though.
I mean, you know, 2020 was a great year for you. I'm pretty sure you've probably been, you know, getting some of those calls.
Oh yeah.
You know, in the midst of a pandemic and everything that is going on in the world, just with, you know, our people just, you know, fighting for equality and fighting against all the things that we fought against in 2020. Has any of the challenges that we faced last year, did it affect your writing, your recording for you?
I would say, you know, the pandemic definitely affected my writing and my creativity, because how I get my creativity is by just getting out and meeting people, man. You know, getting out, talking to people. What's your life story? Like what have you been going through recently? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, I think being in a bubble is kind of like you're just kind of in your own world, and it's like nothing is coming. Everything you got in your head right now is just in there. So I'm like, I would need to go and meet people. Say, hey, I go to the bar somewhere, bam, sit down. Next thing you know, I'm talking to an older cat, and he telling me about, you know, how he did all this for his wife and she left him for some younger dude. I was like, all right, that's a song. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
let me go take bits and pieces of
he ain't the only one. He ain't the only one that went through that. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And I think that with the pandemic, it kind of like put me in a bubble, because we couldn't get out. We couldn't go meet people. You know, you got these masks on. You can't see people smiling. I feel like it kind of stifled my creativity. I feel like it stifled my creativity from the standpoint of just broadening my perspective on stuff. So I had to like grab different what am I looking for? Different shit out the air to write about. And it was hard at first, but I kind of got the gist of it. So it kind of helped me, and it kind of hurt me, because it helped me strengthen the side of not having to get outside all the time and go meet people for inspiration. So I literally had to find inspiration within my home.
Mm-hmm. Like most people have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just trying to stay inspired and trying to find that inspiration. And what I've told people just time and time again, just do things, you know, take advantage of the time. And if you don't know what you want to do, or if you got a 9 to 5 and you don't have enough time to do certain things you want to do and take on in your life, take the time out to really focus and put that energy.
Right. I also think that the pandemic really gave people, it gave them a sense of like just being able to like go just to reflect on life, man. Because a lot of people, I know me, I'm so fast paced, I forget to text my dad, I forget to text my grandma, my brothers, and all them. So the pandemic actually forced us to sit down and just reflect and say, hey, all right, listen, let's start putting time into things that really matter, like time with family. And you know, 'cause tomorrow isn't promised, and as you know, as you can see that, I feel like
sometimes we get so caught up in our day-to-day and working.
Yeah, but I feel like the pandemic was brought to us to show us that, because as a world, not even just as America, but as a world, everybody was just so caught up in their own little thing, and people started to forget about the important things in life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. How does VEDO feel about the current state of R&B?
It's coming back. It's coming back. I think it's coming back because people are starting to listen now. I think one of the reasons it started to decline, because nobody was really checking for R&B like that. Because you know, at one point in time, you didn't really have singers out. You had people who could hold a note, did a song, and called it R&B. Mm-hmm. Right. So people looked at that as
not singers, singing.
Yeah.
Singers.
Yeah. So they like
S-A-N-G-E-R. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah, they like we ain't really got no singers like this, so we gonna hold off until it come back around full circle. And I think now you got a bunch of young cats, including myself, that's kind of, you know, just kind of like opening that lane back up, like letting them know, like, nah, we really got some heat over here. You just gotta listen to it. And I think that's what was holding us back, like, because you got all these other big R&B artists who doing their thing, they on the charts, so no, that's all people listening to. Ain't nobody really trying to go check for no new independent artists like that. But once people started to say, let me dig a little deeper, then you started to go find, you know, people like me, Tone Stith. You started to go find people like even at one point before her blew up. I love her. She's amazing. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like people started to really go search for those artists that, you know, were considered underground and not mainstream, and
was doing their thing. I remember when I did a tour with Kalani, right? And LMA opened up, and people didn't know her like that. And she was pushing, moved up, and she was working. Like you said, Tones. I never pronounced it. Is it Sith?
Fifth. STITH.
I did a tour with August, and he was one of the opening acts for August, and he was doing his thing, and you know, so, and I think at the same time the pandemic has really just kind of turned people on to artists that was. I hate the word underground indie. I hate it, but
I mean
that's what, you know, folks category as. But
it's the name of the game, man. I think, like you said, the pandemic definitely gave people that time to go search for new music, because at one point people just listen to what's coming on the radio, and that's all they know. Exactly. You know, people wasn't going
the same 30 songs.
Exactly.
Unless
people
you get
going over the SoundCloud.
Other than that, you get the same.
Yeah, man. But I think now we're at a place now where people are like, okay, we got a new generation of R&B. We're the same generation as the people who were hot, you know what I'm saying, who were doing their thing, you know, a year ago, 2 years ago. But I think we're coming with a whole different sound, and it's actually giving you the R&B feels that you're used to. And I think that's important too. That's important. That's important for me to put that in my music. Like, I need to be able to give you the R&B feels that you're used to, especially if you're older. Like if you know, 28 to 35, 40. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to get you. You know what I mean? Give you those vibes.
Mm-hmm. Who would you like to collaborate with?
Shit, let me see. As an artist, I mean, I got a lot of people, man. I haven't done an actual song with Chris or Usher, but those two are on my top of my list. Beyonce, her for sure. I would love to do one with her. Summer Walker. Let me see, SZA. I think his name. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but the guy.
Those are dope names. I think you and SZA make a really good record.
Yeah.
Summer Walker, I think y'all make something that's real heat.
Yeah. No, I think that'll go crazy. I think I think his name Giveon or something like that.
Yeah, Giveon.
Yeah, him. He's dope. He's super dope. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I think he got discovered from the, you know what I mean? He was underground. And then when people like, yo, who is this on Drake's song? And they went to go peep his stuff and was like, oh, he cold. You know what I'm saying? But that just goes back to, you know, people just wasn't checking for new artists or new music. Everybody was kind of stuck on what was being shoved in their face by the radio, by every YouTube ad, you know what I mean? Every Facebook ad. That's what was shoved in their faces is what they were focusing on. And I think people are starting to say, hey, all right, I'm getting tired of this. Let me go find something.
Right. What can folks expect from you in 2021? You had such a good 2020.
Yeah.
What else can we expect from you this year?
But definitely some more albums. The album that's
albums with an S.
Yeah, albums with an S. I'm working, man. I'm already done with the one that's about to release. I ain't got no date yet, but it's coming though. That one I'm starting on the second one already. I'm writing on some really big projects right now. I can't really disclose anything, but I'm on some real big projects that's coming soon in 2021. I also want to get into some acting. I definitely want to do some acting, man. I've always had a passion for acting. I think it'd be something dope to add to my repertoire, because I don't want to just be VEDO the singer, or VEDO, you know, he's just. I kind of want to be able to, you know, like go back and forth between the both. Not only because of, you know, the money is good in acting, but it also channels a different part of your brain. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like it just brings something different out of you, man. I'm like, a lot of my homies that I know that are actors, they'll tell you like, man, sometimes you have to become something you're not. You know, you got to become a gangster. You got to become an asshole.
You have to put yourself in that person's shoes.
Exactly. You got to put yourself in the shoes of that character, and to do that successfully is truly a talent in itself.
Mm-hmm. Like I spoke to Darren Henson a few months back. I had a conversation with him, and I asked him a question. It was something like, you know, how it was pretty much like between the good and the bad characters that you play, who would you consider? You know, and he was like, you know, I don't think I've ever played in the bad characters. He was like, I've always, as an actor, you always put yourself in that person's shoes, and you really have to put your mind, you got to put your mind in that person's mind, and if those were the circumstances,
right,
what would you do? So you got to try to be understanding. Who would you like to work with on film?
Oh man, I would love to. I know that's a far fetched, but I would love to work alongside Denzel.
I knew Denzel was going to
Will Smith. I definitely.
He was like Training Day 2 and all that.
Yeah, Definitely will. Yo, Nate Parker's really dope. I mean, I just saw that movie American Skin. If y'all haven't seen it, go see it right now. It is literally the sad truth of America. I'm just gonna put it like that. It's the sad truth of America. It's gonna have you choked up. But Nate Parker, who else we got? I wouldn't mind doing a few Tyler Perry movies either, man. Like some family movies or some relationship movies or something like that, man. 'Cause Tyler Perry makes some really good movies. I like that he's getting into acting now because he kind of got stuck in that lane of just all about marriage and which is cool. Life ain't all about that, you know what I mean? But
yeah, he's broken out into like with the other shows and
yeah.
My aunt, she called me all the time and be like, the have and the have-nots, this and that, and
right.
And the Oval and all this, and I'm like, I don't know nothing what you talking about with these shows, but it's a total. When she talks to me about it, it's a totally different from what we've seen, from the early stages of his career.
Yeah, but with that being said, man, honestly, man, I work with anybody, dog. Like, whatever I can do to get some content out there, as far as like, being an actor, got to make sense though. Can't be no no bullshit. But I think would just really like to get my feet wet in that industry for real.
Your father.
Yeah.
And a beautiful baby girl. How do you balance work and fatherhood?
You got to work late. You just got to work late, man. And I'm used to that anyway because that's how I used to work when I started off. I basically my whole day, I plan my whole day out, and I usually get in the studio about 10 o'clock, and I stay in the studio until about 4 in the morning. But man, having a baby, man, it pays to have a partner, man, because when when it's time for you to work, your partner can hold the baby down. When it's time for your partner to work, you can do the same. So honestly, you just have to just make it work. You just got to figure it out, dog. Like it's really no formula to it. You just got to make it happen because your baby can't always be the excuse of you not getting no work done.
And at the same time, your baby can't be neglected. So
exactly.
Father instincts kick in. You figure it out, but.
And my dad said that all the time. He said, man, you just got to make it happen. I don't know how you going to make it happen, but just make it happen. You know what I mean? And that's some of the best advice, man. I don't know how you going to make it happen, but make it happen.
How did you get the name VEDO?
It's actually my dad's alias name. He didn't want me to have a name. My dad's like street name back when we were from Michigan. And he didn't want me to have a name because
So what? Is he like you little VEDO?
Yeah, I'm little VEDO. Yeah. Yeah, I'm Lil VEDO. I'm Lil VEDO. He's always been Big VEDO, but all my family back home in Michigan call me Lil VEDO. Yeah, but I mean he allowed me to take the Lil off and just be VEDO. Like, all right, cool. All right.
He's like, listen, you know at heart.
He was like, all right, now look,
but
I'm gonna let you do this. Hey, don't overstep your bounds now, but
for a greater cause. You know what I mean?
Yeah, my mom went against the grain. My dad was incarcerated when I was born, and my dad was like, nah, I don't want him to have that name. I don't want him to be, affiliated with none of that. My mama went straight against the grain. Lil VEDO. Like, that was it. And by the time he got out, it was already accustomed to everybody, Lil VEDO. And I just stuck with it and ran with it.
Wow. Everyone has their definition of success. How do you define success?
The ability to wake up every day and just enjoy life. Just wake up and enjoy life, man. Everybody, of course, you want to be able to not have the money problems and whatever the case may be, have all this money in the bank. But I think for me, success is just waking up happy, man. Waking up being happy, because there's some people that got a lot of money and wake up unhappy as hell. It's some people that wake up that are successful as hell but wake up unhappy. And I feel like, waking up and just being able to enjoy life, go about your day smiling, treat people right, like that's success to me. Of course, with the other monetary stuff and all that stuff too, but success is just being happy, dog. That's success, just being happy.
It's a fact, because you can have all the money in the world, you can have all the cars, you can have whatever house you want,
and unhappy
you want, and be unhappy.
I've seen it, man.
I've seen it.
I mean, people always say money can't buy, don't buy you happiness. Yeah, that's true. However, money can buy you things that make you happy. You know what I mean?
But that's a temporary fix.
Yeah, it's a temporary fix though. It's not, you know, internal happiness. It's like, all right, you want everybody to think you happy type shit. You know what I mean? But I think true happiness is just within. True success is really being happy within. Like, you know, you don't have the time to argue with people. Like, you don't let people knock you off your square, as my dad would say. And I think that's, for me, that's my definition of success.
There we go. Ask everyone that come on here, what do you want your legacy to be?
I want my legacy to be, that's a good question. I want my legacy to be that, you know, just be VEDO. VEDO spoke his mind. He didn't really follow the parameters of what R&B should be about. He didn't really follow. He didn't really care about, because you notice I don't really get into no beef or anything. I just want my legacy to be VEDO made great music for everybody, especially the women. He respected the women, and he did music because he loved it. And I literally did music. I do music because I love it. Because for 10 years, 12 years, I did music without anybody checking for me, and that's because I just loved it. I just want my legacy to be, VEDO loved music. He created music for the people. He created what was on his heart, whether the people liked it or not. And that's literally the approach I take when I make songs.
Thank you, King. Thank you for joining me, man.
Man,
Well said.
I appreciate you, brother.
FloWay Show, VEDO.